Gold prices are having quite the week, at least compared to the rest of the year. And here to talk about the possible trading range with us is Stanley Deaux of TradeStation. Stanley, it's great to have you back in the studio.
Thanks, Joe. Nice to see you.
So what are you guys looking at for a trading range right now?
Well, we've come off the lows that we saw recently, and the market, we're still in this major downtrend. But we really have gotten pretty oversold, especially when we look at the longer term charts. So we certainly have that low we carved out around 1179, at least for now. Today, we saw a test of the first support level just below in the mid-1260s. And if we can hold there, I think there is a shot for a little bit of a better rally coming off this, notwithstanding the major downtrend.
Now, what are you looking at the upper resistance?
Well, the first area to look at, and it's a little bit broad, is 1300 to 1325.
Okay.
1300 was a major objective on the downside. We held there, and then, of course, broke it more recently. On the way back, now we tested that. We got up to, I think it was a 1297 high. So we retested that 1300 level. And there's really a band 1300 to 1325. I said, Joe, I know it's wide, but that's the gold market.
So yeah, in a sense that you're saying we could go over 1300 in the next few days, say for example, but just because we go to 1300, 1310, you're not certain that it's just going to hold there, that it means it's going to have a run up.
Right. I think you have to look at that area. You can trade, if you're a trader, a swing trader, perhaps you can trade it for that area. If we're really going to punch through that level, we really need to get through not just 1300, but that real band of 1300 to 1325.
So that lower support you mentioned was about 1179, right?
Well, those are the lows that we made recently.
And do you think, I mean, a lot of people are still bears in this market. Do you think testing that level is a very real possibility?
I do. I think until the evidence tells us otherwise, we're still in this major downtrend. So I think we have to watch for, I mentioned the mid-1260s, which we tested this morning, and they're holding so far, 1265, 67. Beneath that, look at the lows that we made on Friday, about 1207.
Yeah.
Right after the holiday. So there were a couple of levels underneath, and then it's that 1179. Now, I mentioned on the way down, we had a 1300 objective. The next objective was 1154. Now we got to the 1179, so we could argue forever whether we made that objective or not, but if we break the 79, be looking for that 1154, and then we reevaluate and see. But the downtrend is still intact, but it has been a hard drawdown with April and then this recent break. Some of those longer term charts are still a little bit oversold.
Yeah, so then as a technical analyst, a lot of people are saying, well, gold's had a good week. Is this a sign for more upside? What's your final take?
I think there's a reasonable probability we get a little more upside. If you're not long right now, keep an eye on the action, keep an eye on some of those levels I mentioned. For traders, I'd probably be looking to trade the long side. Don't forget what the major trend is.
All right, Stanley, thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
You heard it from Stanley at TradeStation. He does think that there may be a little bit more upside technically for gold, but you got to watch out. It's been in quite the bear market. For TheStreet, I'm Joe Deaux.